Hey, everybody, I'm Tony Whistler, and this is Carla Weiss, and
Uh-huh.
this is Drive Facebook Live. Hi, Carla,
Yay.
how's it going?
It's going well, Tony. How are you?
I'm good.
Mm,
I'm
Cool.
very good. Today on the show, we have a great guest, Dustin Heiselman of ACR Diesel. Hi, Dustin, how are you?
Good, Tony. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm glad to see you that you can make the show. I'm very happy to see you. Could you just tell everybody a little bit about you, a little bit about your shop, and a little bit about Kingman, Arizona?
Yeah, we're a little three bay shop. It's myself and six employees currently. Uh, Started back in 2016. I started up the shop just as mobile, grew that into opening the location we're currently in 2018. Um, Worked for a few years of just myself, kind of playing every hat there for a while.
Mm,
In 2021, I brought in my first employee because I got a little too busy. Um, Kept growing from there to now where I have six full-time employees. Um, Kingman's just a kind of a small town. We're nestled about 100 miles from Vegas. So that's where everybody kind of references us to. Most people have driven through here, but nobody really stops and stays. Unless you've come to go to Grand Canyon West or pass through on your way from Phoenix to Vegas. That's about the only reason you've been here. Um, Yeah, we're a smaller town. We're about 45,000, maybe 50, including our outlying areas that kind of use us as a service center for grocery stores and restaurants, things like that. Um, but yeah, just a small general repair shop. We do a little bit of everything. Um, Light duty vehicles, medium duty vehicles. We'll take care of a few heavy duty things and equipment stuff for some of our bigger clientels that have them, but nothing that we do on a regular basis. So
right.
it's kind of
And
a
how
little bit
many
about
techs
us.
do you have?
So I have five technicians and one service rider in the front.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
So you have five technicians, but how many bays do you have?
Three.
Explain how that works, please.
So
I don't
we
know if
do
he wants
a
us to talk about that.
so I have technically you can consider four bays because I have three lifts. Three are inside, one lift is outside behind the building. So we do consider that a bay. Then we also have a covered area that's we use for parking, but we'll also use as bays as well. And then we also have two service trucks that we run because we do a few contract things like we do our local UPS here. We have that contract. A few police departments and like animal control, jails, stuff like that. So those are all primarily on-site stuff. So a lot of my two of my technicians will run in service trucks quite often. So
Oh,
it's
that's great. So,
usually two to three in the shop and one to two on the road most of the time.
yeah, so then you have a nice mobile business too. So that's pretty cool. You said you
Yep.
have two trucks?
Yep. Yeah, we have
That's
one smaller truck. It's an F-150. We're actually outfitting a little bit bigger F-250 right now for him. And then my other technician is in a F-550 with a full utility bed and crane and everything.
that's great. So that's like five techs, three bays, and two trucks. I like it. That
Yep.
makes sense.
So yeah, the math doesn't work when you just hear three bays and five techs, but it
I'm
does
like,
when you
what are they
Yeah, it's
standing on
like
top of
get
each
wait,
even.
other? Like I
wait
couldn't
a
figure it out.
minute.
They
Yep.
take they're waiting in the waiting room to like get tagged in on the next car.
Yeah, one's working on the vehicle on the lift while the other one's working on the vehicle under the lift.
That's exactly right. Oh, that's awesome. Um, so I heard that you have a bachelor's degree in general education and an associate's degree in science. Is that true?
And that is correct.
That's awesome. So obviously you were on some kind of a training plan for a different career.
Yeah, so right out of high school, I I technically was half a year as a junior, half a year as a senior. I skipped a year of high school and went straight into college with the prospect of becoming a doctor. That was my whole goal all through school. Um, was almost to an associate's by the time I graduated. It only took me another semester to get my first associate's. I actually have multiple associates. That's just the main one I reference. Um, but grew into that of that's what I wanted to do was becoming a doctor. Um, Stayed going to school for a little while, got my degrees, went into the work field to start making some money. Um, Decided that school was getting pretty hectic, so I decided to go still kind of down that doctor path, but I was going to take a different approach and go to nurse practitioner instead of traditional doctor.
Mhm.
So then my outlook was I'm going to go ahead and get my EMT certification, then become a nurse, then become a nurse practitioner to kind of work my way in. I kind of liked that approach rather than just a strict 8 to 12 years of schooling, depending on what practice I decided to go into on a doctor. Um, got my EMT and applied into nursing school while I was working for another local shop here in town. And everything was going good, working there, going to school full time. School started to get a little bit hectic, and I was having to take days off of work for school. But while I was working for that shop, I started to create a bit of a clientele because the shop I worked for was just a tire and light mechanical shop. So we didn't do anything past like suspension work, and maybe a water pump would be about as deep as we would go. Um, so I started to gain some customers there where I would offer to do work on nights and weekends for them that knew me through the shop instead of referring them to a different shop in town. I would just be like, hey, if you don't mind, I can do this for you after hours. We won't do it here, but you know me. I'll be the one doing the work. Um, Grew that into a decent little clientele and finally talked with my boss there and told him, hey, I'm getting where I feel bad because I'm taking now it's going to be need to be 3 days a week off from the shop in order to go to school. So I'm going to quit you with you. I'm going to go full time doing the side work stuff with these customers I've now created on nights and weekends and allow myself to go to school full time. That was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving in 2016 and was planning on starting nursing school the following fall. And when I took off and did those first 6 months of nights and weekends, I realized that I had a real potential to make more money and have more freedom doing that than I did sticking to school and going through everything. So I kind of changed my path a little bit and decided to hold off on going into nursing school and waited for kind of to see how the auto repair stuff panned out. And here we are now, almost 10 years later, where this Thanksgiving will be 10 years since I worked for somebody else. Um, and we're growing every year, staying busier and busier. And now I wouldn't look back at the way I chose to go about it.
That's awesome.
So do you plan to go back, or you're like, I'm done with that path?
I'm done with that path.
You're
I'm
totally
have
done.
a
It's like,
yeah, I now have a completely different kind of mindset, um, which I guess is something you gain becoming a business owner in general.
yeah,
I just have a different mindset of the way I kind of look at things. So now my wife and I are looking at growing into other business adventures or expanding what we currently have maybe into different areas, and growing what we're on because my wife is actually a nurse, so she's in that path that I was headed down. But yeah, the way I look at it now is I couldn't go back and work for somebody else and lose the freedoms I've now created for myself by doing that.
Yeah.
totally. Paul Mallow is watching.
Nice.
Paul Mall is watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he related to you?
Yeah, it's my technically my stepfather.
Your
Oh,
stepfather? Okay.
Yeah, that's my mom's husband.
very
Hi,
nice.
Paul.
Hi, Paul.
So,
He just had shoulder surgery yesterday, so he's probably sitting in the living room recovering right now.
Oh,
well,
I
we wish him
see.
good health. Absolutely. Get well soon. I have another question though. That's an amazing like story, but I'm trying to put in my mind how you fit in becoming a good technician. Like, how did that happen? Because obviously you fixed the cars, right? You were a technician, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how did you fit in that training with all the other stuff that you were doing?
So I'm very good at learning hands-on and actively looking into things. So the technician side and the automotive stuff kind of just came naturally to me. Um, because I never worked on stuff. I didn't really do much of my own mechanical stuff like as a little kid or anything like that. My dad was into construction. He wasn't into automotive stuff at all. Um, so I would tinker around with my first truck when I was 16. I played around with it here. I would take stuff apart, put stuff back together just to kind of try to figure out how things worked. Um, when I started working for that shop, I started working for them at 20. And I was with them for 4 years while I was going to school and doing everything. Um, and I would just kind of learn as I went. I had a one older guy. His name was Jim Davison that I worked with there. He had been a heavy diesel tech for a trucking company and worked there part time. So I picked up a lot of little things from him because he had been a technician at that point for like 30 years. So I picked up a lot of tips and tricks from him and then just started learning as I went and took things in stride and just never said no. I told him, let me figure it out rather than no, I can't do it. And I just kind of kept that mentality all the way through everything. Um, and now that I've started a shop and have employees, I now am very big on training and things like that because of knowing that that knowledge is key to successful operation. And that was something that I didn't really have much of in the formal site. And I could see where that would have benefited me more, as well as other people I worked alongside with of the lack of training that they had. So that's
Right.
now something I use what I didn't have before as something to continue my education as well as my employees.
That's great.
That's a
Yeah.
great question, Tony, because I mean, thinking in terms of like you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a nurse, you know, what made you decide to apply at an auto shop? Like, I would have thought like, oh, maybe a pharmacy or maybe
Pharmacy. That's what I was
or
thinking.
you know, or a clinic, or you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah, it was one of those things that was kind of just opportunity presented itself for a job opportunity because I had applied quite a few different places. Um, I had applied at actually my I had applied at the local ambulance service. I had applied at Walmart. I had applied at that tire shop. I had applied at a grocery store. I had applied all over the place, just looking for something that could keep me afloat while I was going to school. And that was the first one that responded and gave me a job, and that was just the path I went. So it's kind of just luck of the draw there, I think.
that's
Yeah.
wild.
One of the things too that about that story that hits me is you had a shop owner who said, "Come on in and I'll show you everything you need to know."
Yep.
Is that so? That's something to keep in mind too. And obviously, he
Yep.
created that mentality, got him a good technician for some time, right? Like you were there, said for 4 years.
Yeah, I walked in the door with zero technical knowledge and have never worked in a shop or automotive industry whatsoever prior to that. He started me as an entry level tire tech, showed me how to use a tire machine and take tires on and off the car and do everything that I needed basic wise. Um, in that it was almost 5 years I was with him. In that like 4.5 years I was with him, I went from a basic level tire tech to being the lead tire tech in less than a year. To the next year, I moved over to the mechanical side of things. To within that same year, I turned into the alignment technician for the shop. And then my last year, went from head of the shop into the assistant manager doing sales and service out of the front behind the counter.
Mm, very cool.
Wow.
I
Mhm.
worked my way through every position in that shop in the almost 5 years I was there.
I
Very
think that's a
nice.
good lesson for shop owners watching, right? Because here's somebody that totally trusted you out of nothing.
Yeah.
And in 4 years, which is a relatively short time, you became a full blown tech, which is
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
It can be done, people. It can be done.
That's
I mean,
exactly right.
I've
And
used that in
Anthony Stone is watching.
I
So
Very
use
you
nice. Do you know
I use
Anthony?
that in my no, I do not. That
I
name
don't.
doesn't ring a bell. I might know him if I saw him, but name doesn't ring a
Hi,
bell.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Um, I use that kind of inside of thinking about my own upcoming with one of my technicians I currently have that he was in HVAC sales and service prior to working for me. He's 25 now. Um, he's been with me now 2 years and he averages 30 to 40 hours a week as a technician. And when he started, he had almost no knowledge of a lot of these things, knew how to change oil and do some basics, and that was about it. And now he's a great performing technician within a 2 year time frame.
That's stellar.
He's actually one of the guys that'll run some of my mobile calls and stuff for me. Is he's grown that far. And like I said, he had zero technicals knowledge or technical work in any type of other facility other than HVAC prior than coming to work for me.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. Very good. So what do you like to do now that you've got a shop that's fairly running and you've reached professional in your certification in our certification program, and now you're going for masters
Yep.
that you'll do at the expo. So you must be getting very close to being a fully operational shop, and you must have freed up some time for you. What do you like to do for fun?
So a lot of the things we like to do, my wife and I love to travel. We love doing outdoors things. We did have 5 dogs. We're down to 3. We lost 2 of them last year from age.
Mm,
But we take them out quite often, so we like to go out on the weekends. We have a side by side. We'll load them up, take them off into the mountains, let them run around. Once in a while, we'll go to areas near us like Flagstaff and Williams and go camping, go fishing, and take everybody out with us. So yeah, we just like to kind of explore, see some different things, do some different stuff like that. Like I said, we like to travel quite a bit. I mean, we went and spent a week in Costa Rica for Christmas with my mom and Paul. Um, so yeah,
Oh,
we'd
cool.
like to try to do a lot of different things like that and kind of get out there and experience some other stuff now.
that's awesome. That's really great. And
You're going to the expo, we heard. There's
yes,
a rumor.
Yes, I
And you're
will.
going and
I
you're what do you like about expos? It's not your first one, right? So
Nope. So this will now be my third expo.
mhm.
I went to the expo in Fort Worth, and then I went to the Vegas expo last year. Um, so we were very hesitant, I guess you could say, the first expo we went to in Texas, not quite knowing what to expect. Um, After going to that one, we will go to every expo that there is because we love the camaraderie that's there, meeting new people, talking to people. We come in with questions and things to ask people, and there's knowledge base from people that started last year to people that have been in this 40, 50 years that have been through experiences and situations that I've never been through yet. So being able to pick their brain and see that face to face, make that connection, has come in handy. I've used a lot of that information in my shop to help us to get through tough situations. Um, and it's something that I can't think of in a better way to get that information than going to that expo and meeting those people. Because even now, from the first one where we met people, I now have their phone numbers. We now text on a somewhat regular basis. We talk to each other. We see each other if we need in places. We reach out to each other with questions. So it's built a community that I didn't have going into this that I now have that I can rely on.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, you'll make friends at the expo that you'll have for your whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I had one question. Obviously, you're going for the master,
Hmm.
so that means you got to take some workshops.
Yes.
And just how has the workshop experience been with Drive?
The workshop's been very good. I enjoy all the classes. The knowledge is great there. All of the instructors have been wonderful that I've used. Um, I do like that they've modified some of the schedules now because that has definitely made them easier to attend. I It's not as tough for me to attend anymore now that I've gotten to that point where I have a little bit more freedom. Um, but the classes having them the structured like the 6 days on the master level classes, those are great. I love all the entry level classes, the 1 dayers, those are all fantastic. Um, I try to attend those still somewhat regularly. I have my service writer and my technicians, if there's anything that pertains to them, I have them attend them if need be. Um, and that's been definitely a lot of information that I use, policies we have in place now from those classes and things I've gone through that have made a big difference in how things are handled, how we operate, how stuff works. It's made a huge difference for us for sure.
That's
So
great.
some which is your favorite so far?
I would say my favorite's probably the controlling the front.
All right.
Mhm.
There is so much information in that class that I think I could probably take it 10 times over and I'll probably pull something new from it every single time.
Yep.
That makes
I, I've
sense.
I've definitely heard that from many clients. It is one of our what I consider to be one of our greatest workshops. Now, just for anybody who's watching, you look at the client portal calendar, which is the calendar that we use for our drive people. You can go to your client portal and look at the calendar there. If you're not a drive client, then you can go to our website and look at our calendar there. And the reason I bring that up is because we have rebranded the name. The workshop is identical, but now it's called Master and Control the Front of Your Shop. And the reason we did that is because we're running the two verticals parallel. We're running them at the same time. We're running the collision control in the front, and we're running the general repair and heavy duty controlling the front all at the same time. And you'll break out with different instructors depending on what type of shop you are, but they run at the same time. And so we're just calling it one. We're calling it one workshop, master and control the front of your shop. So that's what he's talking about when he says controlling the front, because we called it controlling the front for literally decades, and now we just rebranded it. So if you're looking for it, that's what it is. Okay,
So,
cool. Hey, I think it's time. I think it's time for a commercial break. Is what I think
oh,
it
you
is.
want to do the commercial break and then I'll ask another question.
Yes,
The famous
always.
question. All right. First of all, Mark Graham from
Granum,
Mobile Mark in
mobile Mark.
Florida is watching. So let's say hi, Mark.
Hey,
Mark.
Mark.
Alrighty. So first of all, we have our expo. For those who don't know, you can see the data up here. You know, I gotta figure out with the camera how my finger works. And it's going to be in September in Vegas. If you go to our website, um, driveshops.com, you can register for the expo and register for make your reservations for the hotel. So that's all ready to go. The sooner you do it, the better. And then it's gonna be fun, just like every expo.
Exactly.
Lots of exciting stuff. And then next Friday, we are going to have, talking about workshops, we're going to have all the instructors. That's going to be a challenge, don't you think, Tony? It's going to
Yeah,
be a
it's going to
challenge.
be like herding cats with those guys.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have all the instructors, and they're going to be talking about the workshops that they teach and how do they apply, how themselves apply the data to their daily shops and to improve their own shops, and um, how do they help other shops with the training?
Yeah,
And that's next Friday.
yeah, those guys will be great. They're all the whole entire show is going to be our instructors who also are shop owners. So we do have a couple of instructors at Drive that are not shop owners, or full-time Drive employees. But this show is going to be a classic client instructor panel, and how so they're going to talk about how they have helped other shops, which they all care deeply about that, and but also how the information that they impart to other shops, how they themselves have taken that information and used it and to be an effective business owners as well. And so they have just loads of experience, and that's what makes them very powerful instructors, because they're not just teaching it, they're living it. And we're going to get to have a nice conversation with all of those guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay,
It's going to be
ask him your question.
wild. It's
Yeah,
going to be wild. You don't want to miss it.
yes,
Alrighty.
it is.
So Dustin, how is your life now versus when you started with Drive? Is it any different?
Yeah, so I can say we were very I guess you could say hesitant, but we were very reserved when we started with Drive. Um, just kind of thinking, what can we really get from this? Is it truly what they say they can help us work our way through stuff and come out better on the other side? And I can definitely say that that is true, that it does. I mean, we've gone from I've been with Drive, I think we're at 2 years now.
Mhm.
I started in 2024, so we're just over the 2 year mark. Um, ending out 2023 before I started with Drive, we were I think less than $500,000 a year in sales through my shop. Um, in that time frame, closing out 25, we crossed a 1.5 million mark in sales.
Love
Uh,
it.
Awesome.
so we have grown grown tremendously in the time frame of working with Drive and fine tuning a lot of things. Growth that I know was something that I could not have achieved just by myself with the knowledge that I had, because that's what had grown me over a 6 or 7 year period to 500,000, and then in the next three I tripled that. Is something that I can definitely directly correlate to stuff I've done with Drive and things we've used and the policies we've taken, the classes and the information, talking with everybody, the expos, all of that has factored into our success and where we are today and our continued growth of where we are.
I love to hear
Awesome.
that.
That's awesome.
That is
And
so
what
great.
about your day today? Is it changed at all? Or you're busier or less busy?
Um,
Personally.
but so busy wise, I'm still busy. I mean, that's something that is going to take a few little while longer to work itself out. But I can say my workload has drastically reduced because same thing when I started with Drive. I was a few less employees than I am now. I think I only had three when I started. Um, I was working 6 a.m. to pretty much 10 p.m. every single night, 5, 6, and 7 days a week trying to keep up with stuff. I was turning a wrench pretty much 8 to 10 hours a day, and then everything past that was clerical stuff or trying to keep up with some of the jobs that weren't getting accomplished. So that was where I was at when we started. Now I haven't done a job myself in quite a few weeks. Then when I do those jobs, it's a hit and miss here or there because we got overbooked or something happened. Um, Now all I do when I'm at the shop is if my technicians need a hand or help figuring something minor out or they're fighting something, I'll step in and give them a hand, but I don't have my own assigned jobs anymore. I'm not my input of labor side in the shop is not dependent on us meeting our break even week to week. So I've grown to where I'm pretty much just in the office side of things and there for assistance for knowledge in the shop if need be, and working on getting completely out of it, hopefully within the next year to two.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Hey,
Your
Darian's watching.
your
Is that somebody
brother.
you know? Is that your brother?
Darian is my wife.
Your wife?
That is
Oh,
my
your
wife.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
she is
That's
logged in from work watching me.
oh,
there it
awesome.
is.
Hi,
She's the
Darian.
nurse, right? She's the
Yeah,
nurse, right?
she's a nurse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
awesome. That's really great.
You had a
Oh,
question. I don't know. Did you ever ask him what the initials in the shop?
yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I knew there was a question that was going to get left on the table if we didn't get to it. What did the initials in your shop name stand for?
So my name has grown across the time frame of getting into business and continuing. So ACR was originally Arizona Commercial Repair when I first got going. Um, Now it is primarily just the acronym ACR that everybody has come to know us as. We now also use it as our uh, abbreviation for our slogan, which is automotive care that's reliable.
I love it. You have a
So
slogan that you matches it. That's really
yep, so
cool.
it's
That's great.
come into be multiple facets now over the years, but yeah, that's Arizona Commercial Repair was the initial start of it.
Oh, very good. Very cool. And
Good
now
story.
let me ask you this. How much do you think your ability to be a good leader actually factors into your success?
It factors a lot into it. So I can say with other shop owners and people I know in my local town here that there's some of them that are not the greatest of leaders, and you can see that with the people coming and going through their shop. They can't seem to retain anybody. Um, Technicians are coming and going, people are coming and going. Um, I can tell by talking with my techs who have all worked at other shops, other than my younger guy, but my two A-level techs both have worked at other shops. My service writer has worked at other shops. All of them tell me that they appreciate the way I do things and how I run things because I don't look at them from an authoritative role. Um, I see what their struggles are because I've been there and I've dealt with them. So I work there alongside of them to help them figure it out. And I know that has helped with the success because my service writer, who I can rely on for anything, she's actually about to become my office manager. She is she's the one that's been with me now over 3 years. Um, two of my technicians have been with me 2+ years now. And I can relate that to, like I said, being able to understand them and work alongside them, not just tell them what to do, but show them how to do it and be willing to help them along the way, has definitely weighed into making everything function well.
Beautiful. Very good.
Awesome.
All righty. So I think we're
Well, can
close,
you
huh?
believe we're out of time? This was quite interesting. Time just flew, but what
It
can
Yeah,
you
did.
say? Very
30
interesting.
minutes
All very
flies by.
interesting, very exciting. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. All right. So anything else? Any final words, Dustin?
No, no, that's just drive is definitely worth being a part of, and I'm definitely happy to be part of the team and continue to grow my relationship with Drive. And I look forward to the expo this year because I'll see all you guys there. I know seen Tony and Carla at both of them in the past, so I'm sure I'll see you guys again this year. And we
Absolutely.
look forward to what is to come in the future.
Awesome. Great. Thanks,
Awesome.
man.
And we're happy to have you too. Alrighty. And Tony, any last
Nope.
words of wisdom?
I'm good. This was a great show. I loved it.
All right. Well, see you all next week.